What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another QTV podcast. And today we're going to be talking about everything we know right now in 2020 as we lead up into CES. And I'm talking everything from 48-inch OLEDs all the way down to AI correction and soundbars. I mean, it's getting really crazy with the news that's kind of leaking, patents that are breaking, and so we're just going to dive into it with a nice technical conversation. But before we do that, I want to give a huge shout out to all of our channel members and new subscribers. Welcome to the QTV family. Now, to start this video, I want to start off by saying, obviously information is going to change. I'm going to be covering it throughout the entirety of CES, which does start next week. And with that, we're going to jump in by talking about these 48-inch LG OLEDs. So as you guys know, for the longest time, LG has been pretty much the dominating supplier really as far as panels for OLED, and now they're moving even further towards the lower end consumer, if you will, by offering a 40-inch size. I think this is actually a potentially negative and good thing. Negative in the sense that now they're ramping up more of the supply and demand, and my question is, will quality control be able to keep up with this new demand? Because let's be real, they're probably going to cut some corners as far as price to push out as many 48-inch OLEDs as they possibly can into the hands of the average everyday consumer, which no doubt will be lacking from obviously their most highest end $2,000, $3,000 OLEDs. So I wonder what the sacrifice there will be, like maybe no G-Sync or maybe something else gone down the road, but that's definitely something they're looking at. Also new this week, Sony has officially announced that they're coming out with their H series line of televisions. So the 900H, the 950H, things of that nature, the Z9H. So the name will still be what we kind of already knew it was going to be. And, I'm kind of disappointed at this news. I feel like you can only go this route for so long. What happens when they run out of the alphabet? They're going to have to get a little creative, and I really hope Sony does a little bit more than just slap the next, alphanumeric sequence on there. I think it's pretty lazy, and I think that might be an indication as to where they went with 2020, but hopefully I am wrong there. But nonetheless, they still did announce that they're coming out with an H series. Now, Samsung is rumored to be coming out with the world's first truly bezel-less TV. Now, this news has me very disappointed. The reason for that is because the biggest complaint with Samsung TVs right now isn't even a bezel problem. It's the fact that their TVs are, again, suffering from vertical banding and things of that nature, and that their color space management system is the worst on the market because it literally doesn't work, along with being difficult to calibrate due to, again, just the lack of autocal in some models. And it's not the bezel-less thing that we need to be focusing on. I think they're trying to captivate a lot of people with immersion, but I saw the prototype picture that they had for it, and it looks an awful lot like a Q90R. And if this is any indication of the kind of design effort they put into 2020, we're probably looking at another stopgap year because that does not look like innovation. Yes, there was practically no bezel at all on it, but that only makes it more difficult to transport as you move and have to relocate your TV. So that's something I'm definitely worried about. But nevertheless, that is some news to keep our eyes out on. Now, for my PC guys, AMD is going into the Ryzen 4000, and they're looking at their 5.3 10-core CPU monster here. So if you're into AMD technology, that's something to get hyped up about. Though, sadly, nothing from NVIDIA. So if you guys wanted to compare apples to apples, they have been very, very quiet on what they plan to do. So I don't know if it's like they're going to show up at E3 or one of the other games conferences. Not very sure on that because they haven't said anything. But AMD is definitely planning to shake things up, and even rumored to be trying to take on the 1660 Ti and RTX 2060 graphics cards. So that's something to really, really look forward to, because it'd be very interesting to see what their kind of strategy is for going at that price point. Now, back with LG news, LG is talking about their rollable OLEDs that descend from a ceiling, and quite frankly, I think it's really stupid personally. This is a personal opinion here, because, I mean, whether it comes up from a credenza or a stand or comes out from the ceiling, it's literally still the same technology as the first rollable OLED. It's just the orientation. I think that's pretty lazy there, and they could have done a lot more to jazz it up, add something, some proposition value more than just saying, hey, it now comes out of the ceiling. That's just what I'll say there, especially for the price point. These things are ridiculously astronomically expensive, but I'll digress. Now, the most exciting news that I've stumbled across so far is Hisense. Yes, you've heard me right. Hisense, of all brands, is claiming that they have solved the burn-in problem with a 6-layer tech that generates the ability to not only map and control your brightness and to figure out where those station logos are being static at, and all this awesome burn-in control technology that they've implemented that no doubt they'll go in a lengthy detail on. But essentially, they've also said that they've figured out a way to give you like pinpoint accuracy of color with this new 3D technology that they've implemented in it. And I'm very curious to see if this 6-layer technology that monitors all the stuff will be able to do all that, because Hisense is making yet another bold claim, claiming that their OLEDs will get up to a 900 nit. Yes, you heard me right. An official 900 nit maximum on these TVs. And this I have got to see. I mean, right now, all my red flags are pinging out of control. I mean, yes, Hisense is sharp, but at the same point in time, they haven't been working on OLED like Sony, LG, and some other manufacturers. So for them to say that they've solved the burn-in problem really has me like, really, Hisense? You're stepping into dangerous territory. This could be really good or really bad for Hisense. And if they did make a breakthrough, oh my God, this is going to be the craziest thing, and their OLEDs will probably fly off the shelves. But that being said, moving on to the next news, TCL challenges OLED this year by offering mini LED TVs. Now, the wording on this is plural according to a TCL representative. They claim that they are going to launch multiple micro LED technologies. Mini LED technologies. I apologize. Very easy to mix those two up. So if we're going to be seeing multiple models of the mini LED technology, I can only hope and pray that they've listened very seriously to the feedback that I have provided on their last year's flop, which was their, what was that TV? The Q825. That TV was just a joke, and I really hope they didn't do another one of those just in a smaller size or something like that. I really hope that they've went to the drawing board and really fixed the problems with their models there, with the blooming and the clouding and all that other stuff. Motion issues, I really hope they button that stuff up, but apparently they're bringing multiple models this year. Now, LG claims that they have an AI sound bar that can listen to your room and correct the sound based on the size of your room and parameters of your room, in addition to offering eARC and some other features. Essentially, this looks like it's going to be a really different and very excitingly welcome addition to tech, as far as I think. As far as soundbars are concerned, I think it's going to be really good. Now, this year's CES might also be a disappointment for some if they don't deliver on some of their wild promises, like, again, Hisense talking about solving the burn-in problem, which that already should be making like global news, because that has been the biggest reason for most of you watching this video to not buy an OLED. Because I can't tell you how many times I see people saying, hey, my OLED burned in back in 2017, I'm never buying another one again until they solve this burn-in thing. Hisense just might figure it out. Now, again, they can also embarrass the hell out of themselves. So again, I'm really shocked that they've made that statement and that nobody else has really kind of covered that. But either way, the 48-inch OLEDs, that's going to give a lot of people more room to, again, buy for smaller sizes. I know that's a big question on this channel a lot. What's a good 50-inch TV? And looks like OLED's looking to answer that question with a 48er. So I don't know, all around looks very interesting. But have you guys heard of anything recent, or what is your thoughts on this particular news? I mean, it seems exciting, but is it just like a all fluff and no buff, or what's the case? What's the deal, guys? Let me know. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.